Good morning and welcome to today's church assembly. Hope you're doing okay. Now, if you look at my eyes, they are a bit puffy because do you know what? It is super duper early. Let's have a look at what time it is. It is 5:45 in the morning. Now, have you ever got up? Well, just after 5:45 in the morning. Now, have you ever got up this early? Let's have a little look outside. And it is really early. I can't see anyone's lights on out there. It's really, really early. And Billy and I thought we would get up to see the sunrise. All right. Now, the story of Easter Sunday starts with some women who get up super duper early before sunrise to go and see the tomb. The tomb where Jesus was laid. Now I wonder if you've ever got up this early, right before the sunrise, and you've set off. I wonder what that might be for. All right, maybe you could press pause and have a chat about whether you've ever got up really early in the morning. Maybe it's to catch a flight to go somewhere on holiday, or to drive somewhere, or to go on an adventure. So press pause and have a little chat about when you've got up this early. Okay, go for it. Now, Billy's not up yet. He's managed to get onto my bed, so we've got to wake him up. Here we go. Can you see him? There he is. Well, he's actually waking up, but he's under all those covers. So we've got to say, wakey, wakey, Billy. Wakey, wakey. Still got his little pyjamas on. Look, you see his pyjamas. Come on, Billy, it's time to get up. Great, well, we've managed to get up. Billy's up, I'm up, and we're off. And it's still pretty early. The birds are singing beautifully. And it is that time of day where it is dawn. And that's the same time of day that these women in the story, two Marys, got up really early. And they got up because they wanted to go and visit the tomb where Jesus was laid. Now, it was probably pretty sad for them. They were probably a bit upset because it was only a couple of days after Jesus had died, all right? And they hadn't been able to go and put new spices and new stuff on his body, and because it had been the Sabbath and they had to have a rest. It was a rest day, and with their laws they had to have a rest. But on this early Sunday morning, they were allowed to then get up. So they got up super duper early before sunrise, when all the birds were singing. Can you hear the birds singing? Can you hear them singing? It's the dawn chorus. And they got up super duper early and they thought, right, let's go. And let's go to the tomb. They're probably nervous and a bit sad, but also just excited that they could do that for Jesus. So we're off. I've managed to get Billy up. Here he is. Come on, Billy, let's go. Let's go and see if we can see the sunrise. Okay, here we go. Right, we'll take you on our journey. Okay, as you can see, no one is up yet in Parkers Avenue. I think we're some of the only people up. Here we go. So off we go. And look, the sun hasn't risen yet. It's really, really early. I think it's probably just before 6. So yeah, the women, do you know what? They hurried to the tomb, just like Billy's hurrying. Look, they hurried to the tomb, the two Marys, and they went off to the tomb. And it was probably quite a walk, because the tomb where Jesus was laid was just sort of outside Jerusalem. So they probably had a journey, and they would have had, maybe some fresh linen to wrap around his body, and they would have had some perfume, some spices to put on his body so that it didn't sort of smell all yucky. And they would have done that because they loved Jesus and they were upset. And so as they were hurrying, they're thinking, right, here we go, come on, we're going. And I think they were probably thinking, how are we going to roll that massive stone away from the tomb? Maybe the guards are still there, the guards that they had put on the tomb. Maybe they're going to help us to roll that stone away so that we can go in and see Jesus. So yeah, off they went. Here we go. Maybe I'll film in a little bit so you can enjoy us going up the hill and seeing some of the beautiful views of Wick this early in the morning. Okay. Oh yeah, I wonder what you said about why you've got up early in the morning. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Billy, why have we got up early in the morning before? Billy? Yeah, We've got up early to go on holiday before, haven't we? Billy? Sometimes we've got up and Billy's had to just stay in his pyjamas because he's so sleepy. Anyway, this morning he's full of energy and we're off. Here we go. Okay, we've come out of Parkers Avenue. We're now on Holbrook Lane. And if you look this way, you can see that the sunrise is coming. Can you see? Let me zoom in. The sunrise is on its way. Quite excited about this. You excited, Billy? Billy, where are you? There you are. Billy, you excited? Yeah, you excited? Rock Road, and it is still super early. I can hear the birds. Okay, we're going up Rock Road. It's still not time for sunrise, Billy. Okay, we've just turned off Rock Road. We're going to go into the rocks and have a look up in the top field at the top of Wick to see the sunrise. I'm very excited about it. I love seeing the sunrise. Hopefully we've got here just in time and that super duper early morning get up has been worthwhile. What do you reckon, Billy? What do you reckon? Wow, look, the sun is just starting to rise. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. We're going to walk along here and see it as we go into the field. Wow, we have reached the top field and I'm still feeling pretty sleepy, but the sun, look, has just come up. Probably a bit bright in the camera, but look at that. It's amazing. And it's really worth getting up. The view over Wick is still a bit sort of dawny with no light yet, isn't it, Billy? Here we go, there's Billy. And the sun is just starting to shine on Billy's beard, isn't it? Billy's beard. And do you know what? That first Easter Sunday would have been amazing. Because those women, they got to the tomb and they were upset. And they got to the tomb and there was the big stone there. And then suddenly there was an earthquake. Whoa. And an angel appeared. And do you know what? The angel rolled the stone away. And the guards who were there, they were totally scared because the angel was like, its clothes were like white as white as snow, as dazzling as the brightest light, like that sunshine. And the women were scared. And then the angel said to the women, do not be afraid. You've come to find Jesus, haven't you? And they were like, yes, we have. We've come to find Jesus. And we've come to wrap his body up again and to put the perfume on his body, the spices to make his body smell nice. And the angel said, why do you look for the living among the dead? He's not here. He has risen. Go into the tomb, have a look. And so they went into the tomb and guess what? The body wasn't there. The grave clothes were left folded up and he had risen, just like the angel had said. Jesus had come back to life. I don't know whether they believed it. They were crying. They were upset. They were going, where is Jesus? And then they just started to sort of run and to look and go, where is he? And as they went further into the garden, they then saw a man who they thought was the gardener. And then the gardener said, Mary, Mary. And he said their names, Mary. And they were like looking and going, what? Jesus said, yeah, it's me. It's me. And they held him and they clung to him and they were crying. He said, don't cry, don't be sad, because I am risen. He said, go and tell the others, go and tell my friends. And so they were like, wow. And he said, don't cling to me, just go. And so that's exactly what they did on that bright first Easter Sunday. They went off and they ran and they told the disciples, and Jesus had said, don't worry, I'm going to appear to them as well. And he did just that. He appeared to so many of them. Over 500 people in different places saw Jesus risen from the dead. Wow, what a story. Can you imagine being there on that first Easter Sunday? And it would have been even more marvellous than my sunrise here. It would have been a morning where the sunrise was like, wow, Jesus has beat death. Amazing. And for me as a Christian, do you know what? This story is incredible, because Jesus said he didn't just beat death for him, he beat death for all of us. And Christians like me would say, wow, Jesus says that he can give us life. Life in all its fullness. Life even after death. And that we can go and be with him forever in heaven. That's amazing. And so every Easter Sunday, I love it. I love celebrating. And last Easter Sunday, I came just here to see the sunrise. And all the people from church, well, not all of them, but quite a few of them, we often come to a place, to a field not far from here, to watch the sunrise. And why do we do it? To remember this amazing story, that Jesus is not dead, that for us as Christians, he has risen. He's come alive again. Amazing. And that he can give us eternal life, life forever with him. It's amazing. And that's the Easter story. Wow. Billy, what do you reckon? I think Billy's desperate for me to let him go and have a run around. Have a little run round. Yay. Fantastic. Wow, Billy, look at the view. Billy's looking out over the view of this incredible sunrise. We're at the top of Wick Rocks now, having a little look. Billy's shivering, probably wishing he was back in bed with his PJs on. But this story is wonderful, isn't it? This story of the first Easter Sunday. And it's a story that just sort of reminds me that actually, do you know what? So much good stuff can come out of situations and things which seem pretty hopeless and pretty sad. And so for the women, seeing Jesus die on the Friday, and it's called Good Friday, because do you know what? Good was going to come out of that really awful, awful situation of Jesus dying. But the women didn't know that yet. And by the Sunday, some incredible stuff had happened, hadn't it? Jesus had beaten death. Good had won in the end. Amazing. Now this reminds me of the story that's been in the newspaper of Max. Now Max is just 10 years old, and he's had something really sad happen. His neighbour, this time last year, died. Really sad. His neighbour was called Rick, and Max is only 10, but Rick, his neighbour who died, was his friend. And his friend Rick loved adventures and used to tell Max all about these adventures. And before he died, he spent some time in a hospice. Really quite sad, but the hospice was amazing and helped look after him in the last few days before he died. And Rick, before he died, said to Max, I want you to have my tent, my adventure tent, and I want you to make sure you have as many adventures as you can in this tent. And Max, when Rick died, thought, yeah, I am. I'm going to do that. Good is going to come out of the sad thing of my friend Rick dying. And he didn't just think about himself, like I'm just going to have adventures in Rick's tent all on my own. He thought, I'm going to raise money for this hospice where Rick was looked after so well. And so this time last year, he started sleeping out in his garden to raise money for the hospice. And do you know what? He kept doing it and doing it. He didn't just do one night or 2 nights or 3 nights or 10 nights or 20 nights. He did up to 100 or something, and it was the summer, and he kept going. Night after night after night after night, he slept out in his garden. And this weekend, it has been a whole year since he has been sleeping in the garden. And guess what? He has raised about £300,000 for the hospice. And that's because good has come out of something really quite sad. Good has come out of something sad. It's worth pressing stop now and just having a little look at Max and seeing if your teacher can find some pictures of him. And there's some videos that you can have a little watch. So press pause, have a look. Go for it. Great, I love that story about Max. It is such a hopeful, wow story. Out of something so sad comes great stuff. And I wonder if you've got any other examples like that of good stuff that comes out of something that is sad. For me, when my mum was poorly, I had to learn how to cook. And so even though it was sad that she was poorly, I learnt to cook. And I learnt to cook like really good stuff. So that was a good thing that happened out of something that was sad. Or how about the coronavirus? There's lots of really good stuff that's come out of a year which has been quite sad. Like I've got a friend called Liz, and she is someone I work with. And do you know what? Because we've spoken so much on Zoom and WhatsApp, we've become better friends than we would have done in the last year if it had been a normal year. Because I probably wouldn't have seen her much and I wouldn't have talked to her much. But because of WhatsApp and Zoom, I've talked to her like a few times every week, and we've become really good friends. So that's a good thing out of a sad situation. I wonder if you just want to press pause. Maybe you've got some stories where good stuff happens because something sad's happened. All right, I wonder if you can think of any examples. Maybe your teacher can. So have a little stop, press pause and have a think. Wow, well it is nearly time for Billy and I to go back and have our breakfast. You hungry, Billy? Yeah, you hungry? We're going to go and have our breakfast, go back home. And just before we do that, I thought we would end with a prayer. So let's just spend some time being quiet. And Billy and I are going to spend some time just being quiet for one last time in this beautiful spot and enjoy the sun that's now come up. So let's just be quiet. I want you to think about Easter and all the things you love about Easter. Okay, or maybe if you don't celebrate Easter, maybe you want to think about all the things you love about spring. Maybe think about all the signs of new life in spring, like sunrises and daffodils, and birds making their nests, chocolate. And maybe you want to just think about this story of Jesus rising from the dead. Wow, coming back to life. Wow. I'm going to just say a prayer now. God, thank you for spring. Thank you for Easter and all the wonderful things we can celebrate about life, new life, like chicks and daffodils and flowers coming up. Thank you for this wonderful time of year. And thank you most of all, Jesus, that you came back to life so that we could have eternal life and life with you forever in heaven. Amen. Amen. It's been great to see them, hasn't it, Billy? Been great to be with you. And yeah, hope to see you again soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful Easter holiday. And we'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.